Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of the Nerd Bites Weekly Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, DC. Up above me here is the Animentor, the anime emperor himself, Brandon Marksberry, and now full-time member. What's up, Brandon?
Not a whole lot, man. I've been playing a lot of Fire Emblem this weekend. What's up with you?
Oh, man, Fire Emblem sounds fun. I love that game, and I've been playing a lot of Smash, of course.
Yeah.
And we have some very special guests for you today. Over across some states and in a whole other country is the cast from Mining Moon and what was the other one?
It was Game Companion.
Game Companion.
All over there.
We have Gord, Jasper, and Sydney. How are you all doing?
I'm
Jasper. Sydney. Hi.
Hi.
First of all, thanks for coming on our show and talking to us. I had the pleasure of watching both of your short films, I guess you would call them, and they were very, very well put together. You all did really well acting, and I loved all the nerdiness and all the great undertones and sci-fi and the moon mining especially. That was Mining Moon, sorry, and Mining Moon especially. I'm a huge sci-fi buff. It had kind of like this. How do I say it? Like, it kind of felt like Pitch Black in a way, like just the way the filming was. But I liked how it was like really kind of like it was like a book brought to life, if that makes sense. That's what it felt like to me.
Well, thank you very much. And you know what? I think I can speak for all of us and say we really enjoyed making both of these films. Mining Moon, of course, being the newest endeavor coming from kind of our group of people. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to make these, and a lot of hard work too.
Oh,
For sure.
I can absolutely tell. I mean, you could tell it was really well put together. It's not something you just threw together overnight.
Gravy? Oh, no. From start to finish, including all of the lead up time that you end up doing this, plus filming, and then all the post time. It's about a year to make Mining Moon.
Wow.
Wow.
It's only 3 days of filming, but I think we finished our last film in, when was that? September, I think we finished our last day of filming. And yeah, and then it's been just an absolute stinkload of post since then. So there's the visual effects, the audio work. There's getting in contact with everybody. A lot more work than a lot of people realize for 29 minutes worth of film.
Well, I really enjoyed it. I really did. And talking about the visual effects and everything, they both just had this sci-fi feel to them that was really kind of throwback, which I really enjoy a lot because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I love like that old style that just kind of feels authentic. You know what I mean? It's not just like, oh, here's $1 million budget, like multi-million-dollar budgets, go do what you want. Like, it felt like there was passion put into it, and I really appreciate that sort of thing.
Absolutely, and it's a lot of people misunderstand just how budget intensive when you're getting other people to do the special effects it can get. Thankfully, our director Brian, he has a history of or a background in visual effects. So thankfully, that makes it so a lot of our projects can have visual effects to them that would be inaccessible to people otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love movies. I love, like I said, sci-fi and all this. I know Brandon, he's also into all sorts of entertainment as well. Brandon, what did you think? I know you got to see some of the Game Companion one, which was the first one they did, which I really enjoyed. I thought it was cool how they kind of brought the characters in the game to life.
Yeah, I really like that. I think for our viewers and just for our own curiosity, the first question I would ask you guys would be, what were some of the inspirations behind both Game Companion and Mining Moon? Because they're very richly put together and very inspired, I think. And even if there was no inspiration behind that, there's a lot of imagination put into it as well.
You guys
But
want to
could
take
y'all
this one?
talk a little bit about the inspiration that?
Well, for Game Companion, Brian really wanted to do. I don't actually know like the exact story. Maybe this would be better for you to take, but I think it was more. He went to, I think it was China for some of the actual costumes, and like he was very inspired by just anime for Game Companion and video games, and he just really likes the style of anime and wanted that obviously to show in his film. And just video game characters, and I believe that the Mining Moon characters were based off of video game characters as well. Like it's not so much a video game movie, but the characters themselves were based off of actual video game characters.
Yeah, and actually that ties into the way Game Companion worked, because I know that he was really inspired by Street Fighter, but with more of an anime style to it for the game.
I could tell.
And I know that really constructed a lot of the aesthetic of it. But for Mining Moon, I think that he based the characters off video game characters themselves, but then we were also part of a video game in character at a convention recently where they debuted it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's right. The characters in there were actually based off of people that he knew from I always say this wrong, an MMORPG. I think I said that right. Yeah.
Yep, that's
he
correct.
actually
Right.
Nail on the head.
based off of real in-world players and real people, which inspired a lot of the different characters in there, which of course led him to start writing a story of which went well. I don't want to give anything away, especially Brandon, because you haven't seen it yet, and
Yes.
I don't want to give spoilers here. Yeah.
It seems to me that. Go ahead.
Oh no! I'll go on for hours if you let me.
Okay. Well, it seems to me that a lot of things are inspired by fictional characters, like classic literature and video games, things like that. But I think it's very unique to take inspiration from real life people, because it gives it more of a human element than a lot of fiction has, where they're based on people who were playing characters and gave their own like real life personalities into that. I think that's a very unique way to construct a story.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of themes too, of which in Mining Moon, for when you do get to see it, Brian was trying to address a very interesting social issue. And for those of you that are going to be seeing it, one of the plot lines that was going on in here was, of course, addressing the whether or not the morality of slavery, which is a little bit of a heavy topic, I'll admit, but I'd like to think we broached it quite nicely. One of our characters has a very interesting perspective on the role of being a slave, of which basically the slaves in this film were the albino race, from what I can gather there, and that was Sydney's character, of which she played one, of which part of the story followed her. Yeah.
I actually was going to bring that up about the slavery thing. It's also obviously a social stigma. People don't really like to talk about it, but it's something that has happened and still does, unfortunately, in some instances. How did you get mentally and into the part, Sydney? Like, how did you really relate to that?
Well, my take on the character was pretty much that because she's born into it, her parents sold her at a very young age. So to me, it's all she ever knew and ever really, it's almost like a meditative thing. Like everything is just focused on, am I doing my job well in my role as a slave? So it's like, it's not, oh, I'm a slave, this is bad. It's like, oh, I dropped the glass of water, this is bad. So it's just easier for her to think of it in terms of around her role and not about really anything else, because as long as she can do a good job, then she'll be happy. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, because whenever something would happen that normally someone would get upset about, your character never lost focus on what the task at hand was. You always had a clear focus on, I'm supposed to do this. Like, there's no veering off from that.
Yeah.
And I think you honestly, I think you did a really good job of that, and I think you really portrayed like what your character was supposed to be.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And don't forget, of course, our resident rebel here in the center there. Both she and I did play a more minor role in the film, but yeah, well, you got to get the gingers in there somehow.
Somehow. But our roles did have, we were both sort of the polar opposites of, the sides of the arguments that was going on there with the slavery. And I think that was interesting because, look at me, do you think I'm a righty? But
I'll field the next question. I'll take the next question. We'll see if Dustin's internet can settle down a little bit.
All right.
But can you each talk about a little bit of your experience before Game Companion, like what professional training you all have had, or what brought you into the field of acting and development of like multimedia?
Sure thing. Sydney, want to start?
Okay, I've been acting since I was 5 years old, and like pretty much since I was born, I've been performing. Like, there's pictures of me when I'm like 3, and I'm on our fireplace hearth, just like doing stuff. And I've been acting in like so much theater all my life, and Game Companion was my first film role. And Mining Moon was my second, and I'm really hoping to further my career in film because that's pretty much my dream as an actor. Like, theater is really fun, but film is like my true passion. So yeah, that's me.
I got into acting actually a little bit when I was a little bit older. I was about 11 when I did my first play, and I worked in theater up until I was about 14, and then I started taking film classes with a local film teacher, and through her I accidentally ended up in the audition for the role that Sydney was auditioning for, and I auditioned as well, and that's how I got my background role in Game Companion. It was like a complete accident. I don't know how that happened, luck, but after that I auditioned again for Mining Moon and got a bigger role, which was awesome. But yeah, same with the dream with film. I have such a passion for film acting, and it's really all I want to do for a career. And I think these movies are really setting us up for that, I think.
Yeah, earlier on in my life, I had wanted to be in film or acting or something like that. Then my 20s came by and crushed all hopes and dreams of ever getting onto there. And then when I was in my 30s, I started to get involved in local theater, did a couple plays here and there, and just sort of wiggled my way into performing, either through radio, live performance, and things as such. Then I got myself a role in a project called Sidekicks, the web series, which it's one episode, so I guess it's a web series. Hopefully the remaining episodes, which are still in the can, will get out one day. And yeah, Brian saw my work in that and wanted me to come and audition for Game Companion. Then I ended up getting the role of Bob in Game Companion, and I've been working quite closely with Brian since then on both the promotion and behind-the-scenes production. And yeah, I've then of course got the role as Ambassador Thude, the guy with the really big hair. By the way, that's really me, and
Really
that's
your hair.
actually really my hair too.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that I'll tell you. Getting the makeup done for that was interesting. Let's just say that.
A process.
Yeah, it was a process, and so yeah. Then I ended up have just been doing a lot of the promotional and all the other things that are associated with doing film too. So I hope to be working with Brian on some future projects too, which should hopefully be getting taken care of later in the year here. So all goes well. Yes.
Awesome. Well, since my internet's I think straightened out now, we heard about Sydney's character in Mining Moon. Let's hear about the opposite side of the coin. Since we kind of cut out there, most of the things weren't recorded, so let's just kind of start over on that one.
All right. Well, here you go. Our resident rabble rouser.
the resident rebel rouser. I should probably get a bumper sticker that says that. Me and Gord's characters are sort of the two different sides of the argument on slavery in Mining Moon. And so mine is a social justice-y university student who has sort of, she's really taken hold of the revolution and is doing a big role in it, even for her young age, which I think is really awesome and is something I hope to do. I'm also an activist, and so this role really resonated with me, and I really love my character. She's so badass.
Now, whereas I am the greasy politician that you just hate me. If I've done my role right, then you just want to punch me. So I'm the guy that's basically selling out the planet, selling out the cause. Yeah, pretty much. You need somebody to hate in a film, and that's me.
Well,
people like that, or characters like that, get a lot of flack, but I've always really liked the villains because the actors have been able to portray someone that is hated. That's a kind of a selfless act, really. Like, I've always gone back to Joaquin Phoenix in Gladiator as someone just a good role, but just an absolute scoundrel. And I guess Game of Thrones is probably a good example of that more recently with all the dastardly characters and things like that. But I appreciate those kind of roles because playing a hero is I'm sure is fun, but playing a villain it takes a special humbleness, I'd say.
You know, the best quote I ever heard about playing villains, and really I didn't really get to deeply explore this, which because the movie really wasn't focused on me. Somebody once said that the best way to play a villain is that you don't play a villain. You play somebody that genuinely believes what they're saying. Because, if you know that you're the bad guy and you know what you're doing is wrong, then you just come across really as a dick, that's it, just playing it. But you think of some of the greatest villains throughout all the time. Yeah. Well, I was thinking more of the cinematic.
Oh, Voldemort.
Yeah, Voldemort.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
let's take Voldemort. That as a prime example is he believes he's doing what's right in his mind. And if you as the actor believe that your character isn't doing the right thing, then you're not going to convey the evilness of it. So the best villains are the ones that are doing what they think is right. Actually, the best atrocity, or the not best atrocities, the worst atrocities in mankind's history were ones that were done under the banner of doing the right thing.
Well, I really like Mining Moon, not only because of the sci-fi elements, but I think that you all for both sides of the coin, you all did a really good job of really believing. Like, you played the part as really believing that that's the way you were supposed to be, and there was no other way to do it. And I think that was really good. But I really like dark stories. And I thought it had a lot of dark undertones, which I really appreciated. It was like the whole style was kind of like, dark and gritty, the whole slavery thing and everything. And I thought that was really cool. I thought it was a really nice take on sci-fi.
Well, thank you so much. And, hopefully we're going to be showing at a lot of places come up in the near future here. And we just had our very first, our world premiere of it at GodCon in Victoria. So British Columbia, west coast of Canada, for those of our listeners that don't know where that is. And apparently we're going to be playing at AllCon on March 12th, 13th, and 15th. And I don't actually know where AllCon is. I'm sorry, organizers of AllCon. I'm a bad person. And also, actually, KawaiiCon, sometime between March 27th and 29th, KawaiiCon is in Hawaii. Sunny Hawaii, which is a little kick in the ankles for you guys out there, knee-deep in snow.
Yep.
but you're quickly becoming international. I guess the difference or the crossover between Canada and the United States is an easy one, or relatively easy, but you are international.
Oh, absolutely. Uh, Something to note about Game Companion. Game Companion has been shown in 100 and I'm gonna say 115. That's not actually accurate. It's a give or take a couple number. We've been shown on it, assuming the expedition actually showed it. We've been shown on every continent on the planet, so including Antarctica.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I really have to give props to Brian, Brian, our director guy, and because he is a machine when it comes to promotion. I can't even begin to convey just how much of an amazing machine he is when it comes to getting these things seen.
If my phone vibrates, it's probably him asking me to come do some sort of promotional thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it seems like you guys have a lot of fun with it too, which I think is important. A lot of people, they get in this mindset. I feel like that they're just like, oh, I have to do this. I'm here to perform a job, and like it really shows like just the way you're talking about it and the way your characters are handled. I think you're really passionate about this, and like you really actually enjoy it, and it comes through with your characters, and I think that's really really awesome.
Absolutely, thank you.
Now, for our listeners who haven't seen it, I know you were talking about there are some events coming up. Is there like a Twitter page they can follow or anything like that to where that they can get more information?
Well, right now we do have a web page, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to look this up in the background as I deflect the fact that I'm searching by continuing to talk here. Rhubarb. It's either miningmoon.ca or
miningmoon.com.
It is miningmoon.com. And
I can actually check this.
She spoke authoritatively, and now we
got
to
miningmoon.com.
Miningmoon.com. Okay. Yeah, she has spoken. Miningmoon.com. Right now, the web page itself isn't prepared, but we'll be getting something real sparkly up there very shortly. We'll probably have. Oh yeah, there you go. It just has a placeholder at the moment, but is going to be showing a trailer. A trailer, and we should have more information available very shortly on there.
Okay, I will do my best on our end here. We will do our best to really promote you guys and promote that website. I know we don't have like any place online that you can watch the films, but hopefully sometime soon it makes it down to the States so we can start watching it here.
Absolutely, and given how many places it was Game Companion was shown, we have lots of hopes that Mining Moon is going to be shown at a lot of different places. And so, yeah, make sure you just check back on our web page. And what we'll do, too, is when we know where we're going to be shown, we'll try and keep you in the loop and tell you all about it.
Awesome. We would love to promote it because we think that it really, like I said, it shows that you guys are really passionate about it. And we're a bunch of nerds here. And so we love all the sci-fi elements and like the anime undertones and the character with the pink hair in the first one. What was her name?
Kimiko.
Kimiko. Yeah. That was neat. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was kind of quirky fun, and
yeah, the pink hair girl Kimiko out of Game Companion. She was absolutely inspired by an anime style girl. I mean, I think I even say the anime style girl.
You do.
Played by Julie Townsend, who is a wonderful actress, and also showed up in Mining Moon too as one of the main roles in Mining Moon. So,
yeah, I did notice that. I think it's really cool that people are really able to do this sort of thing, like take something that they love to do and it show that it is okay to not have like this huge production studio and still make good things. People really take they take things like that for granted, and I feel like that they shouldn't. And so we're a big supporter of you guys.
Well, wonderful, and thank you so much for having us on.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
thanks for coming on. We think this is really cool of you to come on here and talk about it. And one more thing that I'd like to ask you about before we go. I know for the Game Companion, wasn't there an awards uh, show or ceremony that some of the actors and actresses went to?
That was me and me actually. It was the Joey Awards in Vancouver, which is not actually on Vancouver Island, but in BC. Um, and yeah, we were both nominated. Sydney was nominated for 2 awards, I think, and I was nominated for one. And yeah, we got to go to like a red carpet event and have paparazzi and all that stuff. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's really cool.
Yeah, neither of us won for the game companion thing, but I won for my monologue thing that I entered myself, so that was cool. But yeah, neither of us won for game companion, but it was still really cool to be
I
able
was
to
entered
go
for Mining
for
Man,
that.
and I think Sydney was entered for Game Companion.
Oh, okay, right. Sorry, never mind. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, something about that isn't right.
Yeah, and Game Companion itself too did actually end up winning quite a few different awards around the world. I'm going to say these probably wrong. There was the Dara Sahib Film Festival, which we got the Certificate of Excellence, Festival of Fantastic Films in the UK. We got the High Commendation Award, Mumbai Shorts. Yeah, we've got quite a few. And of course the Joey Awards too, which there's nominations. So yeah, it's definitely we've seen our unfair share of accolade. We've had many accolades, which it feels really great.
Awesome. Brandon, you have another question or any more questions to ask before we wrap this up?
I think Brandon died.
Brandon, we lost Brandon. Well, how about this? So, film and acting is obviously your passion. So, one little cool thing so we can get to know you all a little better before we go, like, if you could each name a favorite movie and a favorite actor or actress that really inspires you to do what you do.
Can I go first?
Oh yeah, you go first.
My favorite filmmaker is Harmony Korine. He did Spring Breakers, which is one of my favorite movies, and Gummo is my favorite movie ever. It's a really bizarre movie. It's like you said, you like dark movies. I really like really dark, twisty, gritty, authentic, real though dark, not like Hostel or like slashy, dumb, but like really creepy sort of. And like that's what Gummo is. It's really good. And my favorite actor is probably Ellen Page because she really inspires me. Like, she is hilarious when she's in stuff like Juno, but then there's, like, the movie Hard Candy, which is one of my favorites, and that movie is so, like, gritty and intense, and she pulls off, like, both equally, and she's wonderful. And I really like her look and stuff, too.
I really like Ellen Page a lot.
Yeah.
A movie Ellen Page is in that I really like is Super. Have you ever seen Super?
Wait, pardon me?
Have you ever seen the movie Super with Ellen Page in it?
The Super.
No, I haven't. I should see that.
You should. It's got, you know, the actor Rainn Wilson that plays in The Office. Have you ever seen The Office?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in that as well. He's the main character.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's good. You would like it, I feel like.
Okay. Well, my favorite movies are, I'm a stereotypical nerd, the Harry Potter films.
Oh,
I am
nice.
absolutely obsessed with Harry Potter. I know everything you could possibly ask me about Harry Potter to try me. My favorite actor is probably Laverne Cox. She inspires the heck out of me just because she's a pinnacle of, you know, going against the odds to succeed in the acting industry, and she is an amazing actress, and she also has to play such roles that are so close to home for her, and so that really inspires me. I really love her. She's great in Orange Is the New Black.
Nice.
And I gotta say, you're dropping out. Do you still exist there? Oh, yeah, there we lost your video feed for just a second.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Now
Yeah, we're
it's a
good.
still picture of you. Oh, there we go. I think you just moved. Oh, now you're turning in a weird blobby version of you. Okay, well, how about I talk for just a few seconds, and hopefully this will clear up. In terms of favorite movie for me, it I've I really am. I'm such a toss up for all the movies. I watch literally hundreds of movies a year, so picking one is really tough. I too love the Harry Potter series just for the richness of them. But for an actor or whoever that inspires me is a little bit of a strange one. I was saying his name wrong, but it's Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi,
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi. And there's a very good reason for this.
He's awesome.
And it's that you don't need to be good looking to make it in Hollywood. It's, a lot of people, they think that you need to be the chiseled 6 foot something, sexy man there. The reality is, attractive people are a dime a dozen in Hollywood, but getting, the weirdos, now they're tough because, you think of it, how many good working weirdos are there in the film industry? And there's getting really good oddball people is actually quite a challenge in Hollywood because typically speaking, only attractive people seem to go out for roles, or at least typically attractive people.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point. Steve Buscemi, he's been in a lot of interesting things other than just comedies, which he's really known for. But he's been in a lot of different stuff. So.
Oh yeah, he's all across the board there.
Empire recently.
Yeah, true. Very true, Brandon. Going back to Harry Potter as well. Yeah, that's some of my all-time favorite nerdy stuff ever. I've read all the books multiple times. I've seen all the movies multiple times. It kind of grew up with me. Like when the first book came out, I was in 5th grade. So it was literally like the timeline was built for me, like through school. Because by the time it was over, school was over for me, like high school was over for me, which is exactly the timeline that he was through. So that was really incredible to like experience and go through. And I know that's really cool that you like it too.
Well, now here's the really big question for you: is you went through the same timeline. Did you have to fight a dark overlord at any point in time in your high school years?
13 fights to be exact.
Yeah.
Well, not quite,
No?
but I'm sure I went through some troublesome times. Brandon, any questions for him before we go?
One last quick question is, if y'all would like to share maybe your your favorite memory working on either of the two movies.
Good question.
Oh, favorite memory. I gotta say the favorite bit, the favorite story I always love to give didn't actually happen to me, but I'm kind of thankful for this one here. During Game Companion, the fellow that played Cecil, the other nerd guy there, his name is Leon Potter, and he was our fight choreographer. For those of you that haven't seen the film yet, all of the video game sequences that you see were actually live action shots. We actually did all of that for real, and
That's
then
awesome.
all the stuff added in post. So Leon, our fight choreographer, who is a highly seasoned fight choreographer, was doing one move, brought a sword down, and proceeded to lop off the tip of one of his toes.
Oh no!
Oh man!
Yeah. So he finished the take like a professional, sort of, I don't know, crumpled down there a bit and said, yeah, and kind of said something to the effect that I think I need to take care of this. So, yeah. And the very next day was, and then I took over for fight choreography for the last few takes there, and then he went to the hospital, got himself all bandaged up, and proceeded to join us for filming the very next morning.
Wow.
For the apartments.
Wow.
That's crazy.
The show must go on. How about you two? Did I just steal the best story from the whole lot there?
No, I wasn't even there.
Oh, you didn't get to see that?
No,
I was there.
I
I
wasn't there
witnessed
that
this.
day.
I witnessed this.
I didn't.
And curiously enough, nobody filmed it.
But
Wow.
the thing is, it is the take that is in the.
Oh, it is the take?
It's the take that's in Game Companion.
Okay.
He actually chopped off his toe during the take that is in the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, now in the film, in Game Companion, I play the black suited guy with the staff with the big hat. She plays the
French maid
the
with
French
the badass
maid,
broadsword.
yeah. And Leon played Afro guy. He's like this tall white guy with an afro. I don't know. You figure that out.
Anime.
Okay? It's anime. And with like blue pants. I think it was the blue pants shot. So yeah.
And white socks because I remember
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
toe half.
Yeah. Yeah. So, glorious filmmaking for all of you out there listening to it. You too can lop off body parts of yours for others' entertainment.
I'm sure you would get millions of views on YouTube. So how about for you
Alright.
two though? The favorite memories.
Favorite memory.
Want me to go first? I really liked how, like, I don't know, special effects and stuff is just really cool, like how they decide to do everything, like, because I just come and I know the script, I know my character, but then, like, everything that's going around you, you're, like, seeing it, and you're like, that was such a good idea, and, like the slimy grubworm pie, and when they're watching on the like soap opera scene. It's on the TV. There's a soap opera, and it shows this like nasty food. It was disgusting. Like Leela, our I guess she's like costume and set and props. It was this food she'd all made. It was like leaves and stuff, and like noodles with like blue food coloring, and just like it looked so weird.
It
And
did
then,
look
like,
terrible.
And the fungus soup was like a big mushroom, and then they would like pour like shaken up pop over it right before and stuff, and I just look at that stuff and be like, that's so cool, and like the makeup and everything, it was just, that was my favorite part.
I think two favorite memories from it. I'll try to do them both quick. The first time you ever see Ick. First time I ever saw Ick. I had the same experience that you will soon have. And the first time I ever got to speak in front of the camera to a room of people who were filming me, because that is when I'm speaking in Mining Moon, that is the first time I have ever, had a speaking role on camera for a film.
Wow.
And that was like a moment of magic for me, and that I'll remember that for the rest of my life.
Well, I think it was done naturally. I really do. I think all of you all are naturals.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you so much for coming on our show, guys. Like I said, we really liked it a lot, and we liked both of the films a lot, and we're going to be big supporters of you guys. We're going to continue to be big supporters of you guys. Is there anything you want to say before we go?
Well, first, thanks for having us on here. We always appreciate talking to people out there, and especially thank you for being a supporter of us. We really appreciate that. And of course, right above us here, you'll see in post-production, miningmoon.com, www.miningmoon.com. Or maybe not, I don't know.
They will.
Wonderful. So here we go. www.miningmoon.com. There we go. Make sure you come and check us out. I think you could probably look us up on Facebook. We do have Mining Moon the Film is a Facebook group there. We're kind of, you can not only find out news about it, but also connect with any of the people that you find on there. Most of us are all part of that group. So you can come and say hey to us if you'd like. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch us and have us on your program.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you so much as well. All right, guys.
The pleasure's all ours.
We'll see you next week. Everyone, give a shout out to these guys. Make sure you check out their stuff. If you happen to see their film, definitely support them because they do good stuff. All right. Thanks, guys.